What's up, guys? Aquarium Conversations back here again with another short video. Sitting here in front of my 29-gallon tank. It's a planted tank, as you can see here. I've got some angelfish and some Congo tetras that are growing rapidly. I will need to get a larger tank sooner rather than later, but that's makes for another video. However, I'm sitting here and let's see, on YouTube, I've seen a million different videos about this. What are your top 5, top 10 community fish, top 5 or top 10 saltwater, freshwater, top 5, top 10 cichlids, top 5, top 10 nano fish, so on and so forth. And I really didn't want to do a video like that, but I wanted to kind of have a different spin on it. And I'm going to do one based on simply my experience, because I've only been in the hobby for maybe going on 3 years now. I haven't kept what I would say is a lot of fish. So I'm going to do a top 5 list. I'm going to do my top 5 list just based off the fish I've kept so far in the hobby. So, and the purpose of this is maybe for people who have not been in the hobby that long, or beginners, and they're thinking about what kind of fish can I keep, what fish will go in what size tank, what fish will get along together. And those are really like some of the real basics to, I think, fish keeping. What fish can withstand a lot of maybe temperature changes, or different swings in pH, or maybe can stand to go a little longer without a water change. This tank right here, I need to do a water change. I'll do that after the video, but I wanted to do a video kind of based around that. So as I'm sitting here in front of the 29-gallon, this will kind of be off the top. I don't have anything written down, so maybe not really in any particular kind of order. And I'll overlay some pictures, maybe some video footage of the fish I'm going to mention. But again, in no particular order, I'm going to start off with the first fish I ever kept, which is probably the same story for a lot of us who started in the hobby, and that is the old reliable Betta fish. You see them in your Walmarts, your Petcos, your PetSmarts, and the little, I call it the soup cup, and they sell these little plastic tanks or bowls, and the fish can survive in that, even though that's not ideal conditions for any fish. But I think that really gives an indication on how durable and how hardy that fish is. If it can live in that soup cup for, hell, who knows, maybe weeks, sitting on the shelf in the store without any filtration or any heaters or anything like that, that's a pretty durable fish. Also, another huge benefit to that fish is it doesn't need to be kept, or maybe it really shouldn't be kept in a large tank, which, from a financial standpoint, you don't really need to go out and buy yourself a 55-gallon. You can buy yourself a 29-gallon, or maybe a gallon tank, or a 2-gallon tank, or maybe a 5-gallon tank, something like that. You can, it's pretty versatile when it comes to decorations. You can put live plants in there. You can put fake plants. You can decorate the tank however you want. It is a tropical fish, so you will need to get a heater. And I'm not exactly sure on what the ideal temperature is. I've always had heaters in my bedded tanks, except for the bowl. The bowl, I have a Betta in there, and that Betta's been in there for months and is doing fine. Again, a testament to how durable that fish is. Another thing is, the colors. There are so many different types of betta fish out there. Let me think if I can name a few. The half moon, the Dumbo, the dragon scale, the dragon tail, the plakat, the oh boy, I think there's the bumblebee, there's a marble, there's the koi. There's so many. It's almost like there's hundreds of different kinds of betta fish, ranging from all prices, shapes, and colors. So that is my number 5 fish. My number 4 fish, which I kind of stumbled upon maybe after a year or so in the hobby, was rainbow fish. And rainbow fish get a little bigger. There's like the Bosemani, which can grow up to probably 6-8 inches, which you're going to need a bigger tank for that. There's some turquoise ones. There's the Millennium rainbows, which is a real deep red color. There are the Australian rainbows. There's the dwarf Praecox rainbow, which happens to be my favorite. I have a couple of those. They give off this real iridescent color. Again, a hardy fish. I have some in my 36-gallon bow front. They're hardy fish. They can withstand, a lot as far as parameters and temperatures. I do have a heater in that tank, but a really good community fish that gets along with all sorts of types of other fish. Angels, I've kept them with some smaller cichlids. I've kept them with tetras. I've kept them with corridoras. But the name kind of says it all. Just the color, the amount of color and character you get with those fish, from the iridescent colors to the blues, the reds, the yellows, the rainbow colors, no pun intended. But again, a real adorable fish. I would say if you're going to start out with rainbow fish, you're probably looking at probably 29-gallon or bigger. Most of the fish I'm going to name, except for the betta and one other fish, you're probably looking at a 29-gallon or bigger. But an active fish, a real active fish that moves about the tank and explores different parts of the tank, that will really give your tank or your scape a lot of life. My number 3 fish, which I discovered this one probably 6 months or so into the hobby, was the Gourami. And really, these next 3 are probably, any of them could be my number 1 favorite fish. The Gourami is some of the gouramis, the giant gourami that you might see at the zoo or whatever, that gets up to probably about 2 feet long. This is not the gourami I'm talking about. I'm talking about essentially the dwarf gouramis. And there's a bunch of those, just to kind of name a few. One of my favorites is the pearl. There's the honey. There's chocolate. There's the sunset. There's the kissing gourami. There's the opaline gourami. There's the gold gourami. Those, in a lot of ways, are unique fish. They're similar to bettas, where they essentially will move up to the surface of the water and absorb air and oxygen. They're a labyrinth fish, so that labyrinth organ allows them to go up and essentially breathe air, which keeps them active. One downside is they can be a little nippy. You'll see they'll be chasing after your fish. So I would say the smaller gouramis, the honey, maybe the sunset gourami, you can maybe keep in a 20. The bigger ones, you'll probably need 30 and up, depending on how many you keep. But I mean, the colors you get, the golds, I mean, the pearl, I'll put some footage on here of the pearl gouramis, and they're stunning fish. They're stunning fish. They're hardy fish. All of these fish that I've named, you can feed them flake food. You can feed them pellets. You can feed them the bug bites. They'll eat just about anything. But a real hardy fish, a colorful fish, an active fish, one that I think I had a Gourami for close to 2 years. If you guys remember some of my older videos, I had that gold Gourami. I had him for about 2 years. So real hardy fish that gives a lot to any scape or any tank. Adds a lot of life and color. So I definitely recommend those. My second fish would be a fish that I was a little hesitant about because I didn't know if I had tanks big enough to keep them. I didn't know what their temperament would be. But once I got a hold of my first two, I immediately fell in love with them. And that is angelfish. For those of you who don't know, angelfish are in fact cichlids. I'm not exactly sure where they come from. Maybe somebody comment down put a comment down in the comment section and let me know where they originate from. But angelfish, they're a peaceful, elegant swimmer, a nice sized fish that will easily give scale to any sort of scape that you have. It will, you may only need to keep 2 or 3 of them in the tank to really kind of give the tank some body and give the tank, a full look to it. They again will eat just about anything. They're hardy fish, but the colors, the personality, the way they move, there's a reason they're called angelfish, because the way they glide through the water and their mannerisms are so attractive and appealing that I swear every time I go into my local pet store, I'm always tempted to pick up another one. I have, I believe, some of the striped angelfish, which somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those might be the Ultim angels. I have some of the marble angels. I have a gold angelfish or yellow angelfish, which is absolutely stunning. Again, I love the personalities. I love how they essentially glide through the water, no pun intended. Look like little, they look like birds, look like, angels flying through the water. So really dig these fish and would recommend them to anybody. Tank size, again, probably 29 gallon and up, 30 gallon and up, just to keep that in mind. But without a doubt, definitely one of my favorite fish and highly recommended. Number one, and I'm sure no one is surprised of this, and we've all kept them, whether it's the neons, whether it's the black phantom, the diamonds, the white skirted, the black skirted, the black neons, green neons, did I say the bleeding heart, the bloodfin, the emperor, the Congo, and if you guys don't know, I'm talking about Tetras. Tetras are without a doubt probably the number one, from what I see, the number one purchase fish in the hobby, just because there's so many of them. You see even like the glow light tetras, the ones that glow under the black lights. They are, they're used in planetscapes. They're used in tanks that don't have any design. They're just an active, hardy fish that can really adapt to any scenario depending on the size of the tank and how many tetras you have. You could put neons. I've kept neons in 5 gallon tanks, but if you want a nice score, a nice grouping, and really get their best behavior, I would say a 20 gallon or bigger, just to kind of get their natural behavior, maybe get a little bit of schooling. But someone told me at my local pet store that the tetras we see in stores is literally a fraction of how many different tetras are actually out there. The Congo tetra was one that I was really interested in because of how big it gets, and I'm keeping those, and I will have to move those out of my 29 gallon. But the size of those is really something unique. There are the bucktooth tetra, the exodons, which essentially they eat meat. There's the let me think. Again, I've named the rainbows and the the ones we see at the pet stores. I'm trying to name someone. The Emperor Tetra, which gives off this purple and gold color, which is absolutely stunning. That's a bigger Tetra. So there's just so many to choose from. They look amazing in a planted tank. They get along with just about any kind of fish. I've never seen tetras going after another fish. I think I had a 10-gallon one time, and I kept some tetras with a betta fish. No, it was a 5-gallon tank, and it worked out fine. So depending on how many you want to keep will depend on the tank size. Again, they're tropical fish. They'll need a heater, good filtration. Feed them. They will always be active. They're always darting around the tank and looking for food and exploring the nooks and crannies of your tank, whether it's escape or whatever you have. But those, without a doubt, I think obviously are my number one fish. And again, this list is based off of the fish I kept. It's not based off of any fish I'm hoping to keep or what I've heard. These are all fish that I've kept and had success with. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your top 5 beginner fish are, or let me know what some of the first fish you've kept. Maybe let me know some of the experiences. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said. I look forward to those comments. But as always, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys down the road. Bye.